Listen to some of these speeches and these statements from these videos from these white people. Hello guys, you are watching Joseph TV Show. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to like the video and also to leave the comment down below there. Guys, imperialism is real and the Western countries, they don't want to leave Africa alone. They don't want to leave Africa. They don't want to live their own life, to manage their own resources. They want to control Africa because without Africa, they are nobody. Africa is everything to them. And that is a fact. No white person can deny that. And that is true. Without Africa, the Western countries and the European countries' economy will crumble. And that's why they are fighting each and every country that trying to rise up. What they do the most is they install the puppet that they can control. And that's why they don't want Ibrahim Traore to be there on that country as a president. So Africa, they must wake up. Africa must unite for us to prosper and enjoy our minerals and enjoy the life like the way they enjoy from our own wealth. You are watching Joseph TV Show, the place to be.
Life has become unbearable for the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo, especially those in the eastern part of the country. The M23, a rebel group that is in control of this part of the country, has blockaded all the roads. Using these roads is like a suicide mission. So people travel around the region using boats on Lake Kivu. Here's a video showing people on one of these crowned boats being shot at by these rebels after they spotted them. It's hard to watch the helpless men, women, and children crying out to God for help. The Democratic Republic of Congo has about 200 rebel groups operating across the country, especially in rural DRC. There's no central government in the DRC. The rebels are the law. It's very dangerous to use roads in the DRC because when you encounter these rebels, you don't know what mood they are in. They might just decide to confiscate your merchandise, or worse, even get rid of you. So for the people of the DRC, rivers and lakes are the safest way to get around. Unfortunately, they are forced to climb into these crammed boats, substandard vessels, to move around. And most times, these journeys end in tragedy. Guys, do you remember this video?
Yeah, listen to this. Nigeria has oil before than Dubai. It's a history. They are more rich than us. They have agriculture, they have mining, they have everything, you name it, they have it. Am I right or wrong? When you have a true leadership, which we have nothing, but we have everything because we have the right leadership. That's the only thing you need, a right leader for your country. Not corruption.
I'm sure you all remember this video of this Nigerian guy was asking this guy from Dubai when he visited Dubai, asking how did Dubai become so great in such a short period of time? And this guy was answering this Nigerian guy saying, you need to have a great leader. You need to get rid of corruption, as if. I'm here to debunk this. The United Arab Emirates has become so great because of the gold from Sudan. Yes, the people of Sudan are spilling the blood for the people of the UAE to prosper. The Sudanese wars that have been going on from the days of Janjaweed when Bashir was president up to today, the United Arab Emirates is responsible for the destabilization of the Sudan. Not that the leader is clever, the leader is good, is brainy and stuff. The blood that is being spilled in Sudan has resulted in Dubai being called the city of gold when Dubai doesn't even have a gold mine. Look at Dubai today and look at their gold trade. Dubai has become the world's #1 gold trade center. and they don't even have one gold mine. Amazing. How can it be that a country that doesn't even have one single gold mine is the world's #1 gold trading center? Unbelievable. And this man has the audacity to stand here and tell us that United Arab Emirates is great because of good leadership. Look at the people that mine the gold in Sudan, the Sudanese people. They mine it by hand. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the RSF, the rebel army that is fighting the Sudanese army, is sponsored by UAE. UAE is trying to grab power in Sudan so that they could continue exploiting Sudan. United Arab Emirates has to be called out for the genocide that is sponsoring in Sudan. It's a shame that Africans have to suffer for Arabs and Europeans to prosper. How long is it going to go for? How long is it going to go for? How long?
Show me one country that USAID was in and education improved. Show me what country where USAID was in and healthcare improved. The social services they're bringing, it's peanuts. The American taxpayer needs to know the billions of dollars that are being given to USAID, a fraction is making it to the people. Let's look at what HIV/AIDS was used to do. We know of a program that was run out of South Africa where they actually were injecting people with the virus. The reason some of the AIDS virus spread as rapidly as it did in Southern Africa, there were some very dirty games being played on African people. They were using Africans as guinea pigs for experimental activities. Even when you look at every aspect, they're using us as guinea pigs. Yes, there is some good, a percentage of some good, but not all of it is done with good intentions. You look at agriculture, they're destroying African agriculture by introducing those GMOs. You plant your seed in one season, your soil is finished. We used to have seeds that we can use from one season to the other. The introduction of GMOs through these agencies, USAID is one of them. We're destroying Africa in a massive way. A little good is coming out, but by and large, the end result, they mean no good. They can turn around and give us an inventory and say, as long as you have been in Africa and also other parts of the world, show us your success rate. You claim you're helping governments with education and healthcare. Show us your success rate. But I also turn around and say, African governments, why do you need this little aid to assist you in providing proper healthcare, proper education? The average African government can afford to provide those services for their people. Why does such a continent that did so much to help Europe recover continue to be so poor? Let's be realistic here. Let's not talk about peanuts. Africa does not need the aid. What we need is for those who are exploiting Africa to stop. Africa has everything it needs. If Africa could have contributed as much as it did to the recovery of Europe post-World War II, why wasn't Africa equally developed? This is a wake-up call to the African leaders to take inventory of what is really happening in their countries. Do they really need the peanuts that are coming in as aid? What is really going out? If I may use the example of what happened in Niger when the government decided they were going to take over the mining of their uranium. The French companies that were mining the uranium were paying the government 80 cents a kilo for the uranium, and then turning around and selling the uranium to the rest of the world at 200 euros a kilo. So that one move from the Nigerian government to say we are now going to take ownership of our own uranium, they went from realizing about $1 billion in uranium resources to over 300 billion a year. Do you realize what I'm talking about? No amount of NGO could bring that kind of money. And this is only one mineral. Now imagine the country taking inventory of all their minerals and benefiting from their natural resources like the rest of the countries in the Western world. That is what African leaders need to look at.
Do you see that in the horizon of African leaders right now?
Do
you see them? Who do you see as the standout winners of that kind of change? And who do you think is still chasing AID contracts?
Let me tell you, we need to look at what's happening in Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. President Traoré is standing up. He is saying the natural resources in Burkina Faso, they belong to the people of Burkina Faso. Niger is doing the same thing. Mali is doing the same thing. Every leader must look at what's happening in the Sahel nations to say, like anybody else, You must take care of your people. You have your natural resources. You have everything you need to take care of your people. Why do you continue to be beggars? Look at what is being brought in by not only USAID, but all the NGOs in your country. It's peanuts. It's a joke that the African leaders should continue to be beggars of peanuts when you are looking and allowing billions to get out of your country year in and year out, if not trillions, in natural resources that your people should be benefiting from. It is a wake-up call for African leaders to wake up and say, President Trump is saying, US first, America first. You too must say, your country first, because you have everything it takes. It is a joke. It is embarrassing to see I'm not seeing any African leader cry over USAID living. I can tell you for a fact, the average African leader privately is celebrating the exit of USAID because they know what is really going on.
Allow me to comment on this comment here. Yesterday, I did a video about how Sudan has been devastated and exploited by the United Arab Emirates and how Dubai has suddenly become the hub of the gold trade for the whole world. This comment here says it's about leadership, because when I was making the video yesterday, I quoted a video where a person from Dubai was saying that Dubai has become so prosperous because of leadership. And we agree that good leaders bring about development. But exploiting another people for their resources and leaving them poor and developing your own country is not good leadership. That's theft. That's plunder. Right now, there's a genocide going on in Sudan right now. And the genocide is powered by the United Arab Emirates. The RSF rebels that are fighting against the Sudanese government as we speak are sponsored by United Arab Emirates, UAE. And this comment here says, the problem is the leadership in Sudan. Yes, Africa has leadership problems, but why is it only Africa that has leadership problems? Why is it only in Africa where you have military rulers ruling these countries? Why is it only in Africa where you have bad leaders? You don't have this leadership problem in Asia. You don't have it in Europe, America, South America. It's only in Africa. The reason is Africa is rich with resources.
Africa, historically, sub-Saharan Africa, has been fundamental to the global prosperity of the advanced countries. Okay? And Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay, so that's the message. It doesn't mean to say that there's nothing Africans can do. Of course there is. Okay, but this is the opposition that they're fighting. This is what it's about. Because if Africa does do something different, I assure you living standards of all those in Europe and North America are going to fall. Okay? And that is a big price to pay. I assure you that the West is not going to allow that without a big fight. Okay, so this is what it's fundamentally about.
The whole world needs Africa. The whole world looks at Africa. For all these countries like China, Russia, United States, all these countries to be great where they are today, it's because of the resources of Africa. They exploit Africa. They're exploiting the Sudan. They're exploiting the Congo. They're exploiting South Africa. They're exploiting Nigeria. Let me tell you, the reason why Dubai is there is to wash the illegal gold that is smuggled from Sudan into Dubai. It is cleaned and then exported legitimately to Europe, South America, North America, Asia, and everywhere in the world. And the whole world is feasting on this gold. They all go to Dubai to buy gold if they need gold. And who are suffering in the end? The Sudanese people, the Cameroonian people, the Sierra Leonean people, the Congolese people. All those gold-rich countries in Africa are devastated. Only South Africa seems to be at peace, but the African people in South Africa are not at peace. They have nothing. They don't own the economy. So Africans, you need to wake up. Don't just blame your leaders to say, no, the leadership in Africa. Who installs those leaders? Who installs those leaders? Why is it that only Africa has imposed leaders? Why is it only Africa that has leaders that they don't want? Leaders they don't want in Kenya, leaders they don't want even in Rwanda, leaders they don't want in Zambia, leaders they don't want in Nigeria, leaders they don't want in Cameroon, leaders they don't want in Ghana, leaders they don't want in Cote d'Ivoire, leaders they don't want in Somalia, leaders they don't want in Zimbabwe, leaders they don't want in South Africa. Why is it just Africa having the problem of unwanted leaders? It's because they are installed. They are installed to rule us. Why is it that all our elections, they have to come there and sit there? They are the ones who fund our elections. I said it in the other video that the ones that fund the elections decide who leads you. If you don't fund your own elections, then forget about it. Go down to the root. Let me give you another example. Look at the Palestinians. You go to Israel, you find they've got nice gardens, nice lawns, they've got a lot of water. They're watering their crops and everything. You go to Gaza, it's dry. And what do they say about the Palestinians? They can't look after their own, lawns. They can't water their crops. They have poor neighborhoods without nice hedge and stuff like that. But what's the real reason behind it? They are denied access to water by the same people that turn around and laugh at them for failing to water their own crops, for failing to water their own lawns. It's the game they're playing, Africans. You need to wake up. You need to wake up. You need to wake up, Africans. Wake up. Open your eyes. They are trying to take out Ibrahim Traore as we speak. He's a good leader. He's doing everything. It is reported that his country has paid off all the debts within months. They're trying to get rid of him. So, Africans, all I'm saying is, open your eyes. It's not by accident that Africa has poor leadership.
Why is it that the richest continent on earth, the go-to place for the world, is painted as the poorest? And I am not going to mince my words. The truth of the matter is the world needs Africa. Africa does not need the world. We have everything we need on earth. We could paralyze the world economies. Take a simple thing. Like we decide DRC can no longer export its coltan. That alone can paralyze the world. So rather than us Africans concentrating on the issues that matter, concentrating on issues that we need to take home, like telling France that 500 billion you're taking out of Africa every year, no more. France needs to be the third world developing country, not Africa.
Here is the main reason why Joe Biden is in Angola.
China just announced that it is banning exports to the United States of precious metals and things that we use pretty much every single day. The ban is on 3 metals, gallium, germanium, and antimony, and it goes into effect immediately. The US gets more than half of our supply of these precious metals from China, and it's used in things like chips for your phone, for all of our electric cars, most disturbingly, military equipment. This is the latest and most egregious move by China ahead of Trump's second term as we get this sort of trade tit for tat back and forth right now. The effects that this ban will have on our everyday lives is still yet to be clear, but it's almost certain to have some kind of effect because the US doesn't mine for these metals really yet. It's kind of like if you had this cookie, this oatmeal butterscotch cookie. The baker represents the US. The ingredients represents the precious metals for the cookie or the car or the phone or whatever. If the source of the oatmeal is cut in half, the baker's probably not going to want to finish the cookie. And if the baker still really wants to make the cookie, they're going to have to find ingredients somewhere else and they'll be more expensive. And you're going to pay more for this cookie, and that's bad.
So if the baker is going to have to find the ingredients somewhere else, where else can they find these ingredients apart from China? Because only 2 countries in the world have these precious minerals that are used to make these microchips. China, and which other one? The Democratic Republic of Congo. And this is the reason why Joe Biden is in Angola. Bingo! Well, this lady explains it better.
Biden in Angola. What's behind the last-ditch Africa trip? This is a historic first. No U.S. president has ever set foot on the Central African country of Angola until now, until this emergency visit. It is because of an infrastructure project that's called the Lobito Corridor, and we're going to break it down. This is from the EU's website. The Lobito Corridor connects the southern regions of the DRC, northwestern Zambia, and Angola to regional and global trade markets via the port of Lobito, there on Angola's Atlantic coast. It is all for this critical mineral that is found in Congo. But was Congo invited to the meeting, to the G7 meeting, where this deal was taking place? Last I checked, neither Congo, nor Angola, nor Zambia are part of G7. So how come this infrastructure project is taking place, is happening on the continent without the significant input of any of these countries? Also, what kind of demands did these African governments put on the EU and the US to make sure that the slave conditions that are currently going on in these copper and cobalt mines don't persist? What kind of conditions have been put on the EU or the US to make sure that they clean up the environmental disaster that they've left behind already in the DRC and in Zambia too? Backdoor deals have been made, politicians have filled their pockets, and the people continue to suffer.
Oh my. The Berlin Conference is happening all over again. The G7 sat down to discuss the exploitation of African resources without inviting our leaders. Exactly the way it happened centuries ago. They discussed and shared and carved Africa amongst themselves without inviting our chiefs and kings. But our chiefs and kings became really rich and powerful from the kickbacks they got from the Europeans for allowing them to exploit their own people. And today, history repeats itself. Our leaders in these countries involved are going to retire billionaires. Why? Because they're going to give consent to the exploitation of their own people. The Berlin Conference happening all over again in the 21st century.
So I say to all of you in this room and all who are watching by television, we need to pray for our brother and his family and warn America. Leave that brother alone.
You go to Nigeria, which is, if not the most corrupt nation in Africa, and it is, it could be the most corrupt nation in the world, Minister Farrakhan.
Oh, now, Mr. Wallace.
It is the most corrupt nation that I have ever covered. I've been there 25 years ago, and I've been there as recently as last year.
Fine. So what? 35 years old. That's what that nation is. Now, here's America, 226 years old. You love democracy, but there in Africa, you're trying to force these people into a system of government that you just have accepted. 30 years ago, black folk got the right to vote. You're not in any moral position to tell anybody how corrupt they are. You should be quiet and let those of us who know our people go there and help them get out of that condition. But America should keep her mouth shut wherever there's a corrupt regime, as much hell as America has raised on the earth. No, I will not allow America or you, Mr. Wallace, to condemn them as the most corrupt nation on earth when you have spilled the blood of human beings. Has Nigeria dropped an atomic bomb and killed people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Have they killed off millions of Native Americans? How dare you put yourself in that position as a moral judge? I think you should keep quiet, because with that much blood on America's hands, you have no right to speak. I will speak because I don't have that blood on my hand. Yes, there's corruption there. Yes, there's mismanagement of resources. Yes, there is abuse. There's abuse in every nation on earth, including this one. So let's not play holy to moralize on them. Let's help them.
I'm not moralizing. I'm asking a question, and I got an answer.
Why would you put it as the most corrupt regime in the world? That doesn't make sense.
Can you think of one more corrupt?
Yeah, I'm living in one. I'm living in one. Yes. You've done a hell of a thing on this earth, so you should not be the one to talk. You should be quiet when it comes to moral condemnation.
Of all the resources Burkina Faso have, they've not been able to build even more than 5,000 kilometers of road. Today, as we are speaking, when our politicians go around building first coach, second coach roads, he is building asphalted overland roads. How many years? And today, the person that is building roads, the person that is giving hope to the people, we have some people coming from nowhere to tell them that, we are ready to give you life. In fact, if they want to give life, they should go to Congo, they should go to South Sudan, they should go there, and the mess they caused there, they should go and put it together, take it back to their country. Enough is enough. We are ready to rise up and say, enough is enough. It is now. They can never keep us in the fear or the shackles of imperialism. No way. We are ready to detach ourselves and say enough is enough. And this is the time that African youth need to read through the lines and see and realize the truth. The same way they did to Nkrumah, they use the same people. And this is a warning that goes to all African leaders. That's right. That they sit back and allow themselves to be used by the imperialists. Exactly. Anytime there has been any elimination of any African good leader, it is great. They use our own people against us.
Just as they are doing right now. In Ivory Coast.
We are sending a strong warning to the Ivory Coast leader, the president of Ivory Coast. If you are a brother and you sit down with our enemy, you become our enemy. Simple. We are not our brother again. Warning to them. Warning to them. And we are sending a strong warning to the president of Ghana to send a strong warning as far as diplomacy is concerned to the president and the consulate of Ghana for Ivory Coast that enough is enough. We are never going to sit down and allow this to happen again. If we believe in African unification, if we celebrate 6th March, which is our independence, that Nkrumah actually linked it to the total liberation of Africa, we are saying today that as he is a president, he should respect that quote of Nkrumah and also believe in the vision of Nkrumah by sending a message to the Ivorian president that, my brother, you are stepping on the toes of the lion. Don't do this as a brother, because if you do, we are never going to sit back and watch you. If we can't get hold of you, you have your families. We'll start coming after them. Tell them we are coming.
If we sell a brother, the buyer will never
I would like to say here that my word which I said, the total liberation of Africa must be put into practice. If we are seriously committed, because if I am speaking about the northern part of Africa, I am speaking about Sinai, which is a part of Africa, and also Palestine is very important for the history of every mankind who believe in religious, whether you are a Christian or you are a Muslim. You must see that this particular point is taken very serious. Also, what I wanted in southern part of Africa is completely in Rhodesia and South Africa majority rule. But if Rhodesia and South Africa cannot accept immediate independence to the majority rule in these two countries, including Namibia, then we must really face them militarily, because we are capable of fighting against them, of liberating that country. But when I'm speaking about this, I wanted people to know that I am not against whites, but a white must accept that in these countries the majority are black, and therefore it must be majority rule. And if they are to accept majority rule, I am sure those Africans will live with them in peace and harmony. If they cannot give independence as soon as possible by peaceful means in Africa, I would like to say here that my word which I said, the total liberation